Hello, 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 beautiful souls. Today we are live for a very exciting broadcast. That is right, we are bringing back live readings. So I'm going to explain how this works for those who haven't seen me do this before. And if you're live and you're here with us, say hello in the chat. Let us know you're here. You are welcome to be here whether you book a reading or not. But these are readings that you can book with me. So, Teresa's here, Polly's here, and I will be letting you all know how this works. How's the sound, guys? Is it quiet? Yeah, it seems kind of quiet to me, so let's try to turn it up a little bit. Hopefully that helps. And yes, we are here with live readings, and as you can see, there is a chart. We are going to be looking at the charts, and we are going to be doing readings. So this is how it works. You can sign up using the link. There is a link in the chat. It is pinned to the top, actually. Is it? It's not. Weird. Let me add that really quickly here. So that those of you who want to book will be able to, and I will explain how that works here shortly. Here's how you can get yours for today. Okay. Now there is a link in the chat. And I'm going to put this on the top. Maybe. Pin message. Okay, it's Sunday. I don't know why you're cracking your knuckles, but it is Sunday. All right, so I'm going to tell you guys how this works. First of all, these are paid readings that you can actually purchase, and then I do here live. So this is for you if you are okay with everyone up in your business. It will just be the transiting energy. So right now there is a chart up. This is, let me make sure I'm going in the right order here. But they are done in order in which they are booked. So for today we have Rachel, then we have Malgorzata, and we have Paula. That's the order these were booked. So if you book today and you want to get yours today, it will be after that, and they'll just keep going in order until you guys have 20 minutes to sign up for anyone who still wants to get in. And then after that, I cut off the signups. So this is how it works. So we are going to start with Rachel's chart, and these are transit reports, so there's not even a need to ask a question or anything. I am just doing a report of what is happening with the transit. So like an energy report based on where the planets are in your chart right now. Okay, so let's go on to Rachel. These are 5 minutes. And they're not exactly 5 minutes, but it's like a 5-minute minimum. So for Rachel, I'm just scanning your chart to see what we have, and bam, Jupiter is hitting the North Node right now. Uranus is conjunct Chiron. We have Saturn squaring basically your Venus, your South Node, Jupiter, Neptune. This whole stellium in Sagittarius is being squared by Saturn. And then Saturn's also trining natal Saturn. We've got Pluto squaring Mars. Oh, you're like me. Yeah, Pluto is squaring Mars, and that Mars-Pluto conjunction. And what else do we have? Is Neptune doing anything here? Yep, Neptune's also squaring Neptune. Don't be alarmed by any of those things. None of these things are like horrible, terrible things. This is just what we've got happening. So why don't we start with Jupiter? because Jupiter tends to make things more better, and it tends to be positive, and it's conjunct the North Node in the 6th house. So when Jupiter is in your 6th house, sometimes you will actually have more work to do. There will be more work to be done. And it might be work you enjoy, because Jupiter tends to bring some positivity and optimism to that area of life. So like enjoying your work, doing work that kind of keeps you busy and is refreshing. And it, Jupiter also in the 6th is going to help you solve problems. Like, how am I going to pay my rent? How do I pay my bills? This window just broke. Whatever you would say are like your day-to-day problems. If you have kids, childcare, whatever is going on. So Jupiter in the 6th might also help you if you have not been feeling, and this is for Rachel. And so Rachel, if you're here, you can say hi, but if not, that's fine too. And you might be feeling with Jupiter in the 6th, like you want to figure out what you're good at. Sometimes when Jupiter's in your 6th, you will be working on like a labor of love. When Jupiter was in my 6th, I made my North Node videos on my channel. So it's possible you can put your energy into work that maybe doesn't get you a lot of results at the moment that you're doing it, but possibly has some potential to grow later, or, sharpening skills or something like that. All right. And then Mars is just going to stimulate that. Now for you, Jupiter rules your 12th house, and it also rules your, where is Pisces in your chart? Your 3rd house. So 12th house ruler in the 6th, that's going to be bringing subconscious fears into like healing in your day-to-day life, doing work or doing things in your day-to-day that help you see subconscious patterns, subconscious fears with this 12th house stellium. Lots of energy around the unseen and psychology. So if you're working on something psychological, that would just make a lot of sense. If you're not, that's okay too. But again, Jupiter can help you see and deal with fears. A lot of times 12th house stuff is like facing fears. Okay, so let's talk about Saturn in the 3rd. The 3rd house is a cadent house. So Saturn going through the 3rd, sometimes you just learn more, you commit to some kind of study or something. But having it square all this stellium, and right now kind of going back over this square to the nodes, the South Node, and squaring that Jupiter right on that nodal axis. Now, this is technically not quite the exact point of the square, but they're in proximity, right? So what that means for you, Rachel, is something probably has to be committed to at this point. Oftentimes when Saturn squares your nodes, and let's go back and see when this was happening for you. Like, hold on, what did I just get? Okay, so Andrea, I see you. Okay, that was so loud in my ears. Anyway, back to Rachel. Okay, so Rachel, yes. Saturn, let's go back to when Saturn was squaring this point. It was a bit ago, but I want to see when Saturn hit Venus, because I feel like you probably really felt that energy. That was back in March. So, maybe there's some kind of pressure point back in March, related to something. Let's see, Venus is what does Venus rule? Your 10th house of work, and your 5th house of creativity. So, it kind of depends on what's going on in your life, Rachel. Yes, you are first. And so back around March, you can think about what was getting harder or what was getting slower. What were you committing to or needing to adjust related to your work and related to your creativity. And I'm going to go back and see when Saturn was conjunct Venus to give you a bigger frame of reference for when this major cycle started. This would have been years ago. But this is really the best way to work with astrology, is to understand the timing and the cycles and, when it was really happening for you. So back around late 2015, early 2016. we'll just round that to like the beginning of 2016 when Saturn was conjunct Venus. So that was a new cycle of making commitments related to work and creativity. Unless it's kids, unless you like had a kid, then now it would be like, dealing with some major challenge related to that. Whatever was happening related to fifth house stuff. So that would be like creativity, children, your self-expression, and your work. And because your 12th house ruler is your 10th house ruler work planet, is in the 12th, this could also be you basically having working behind the scenes and something going on right now that it might not be a huge problem. It might be you're undertaking some kind of commitment or some kind of study or some kind of work, or really like need to face or deal with something related to where your work is based on where you wanted it to be back then. So feel free, Rachel, to let us know in the comments if that all makes sense. And let me just scan, Chiron hitting that fifth house, Uranus hitting that fifth house Chiron. Let's talk about that for a minute, and we're going to bring it back to now, and then let's look at when this goes exact. I'll give you a heads up. We're going to see this. Okay, so this won't actually happen until after next year, but if you're feeling at all like, oh, I don't know, like the pain of not Chiron in Taurus is like the wound of not feeling as good as other people, and it usually shows up with like your stuff, like your your physical things, like you need to have the nice shoes, or you feel it. If your neighbors make more money than you feel it. So it's like judging yourself on external things, but you don't even feel like you need that thing. You just want to not look bad. You're not wanting people to think you lowly of you, if that makes sense. So Uranus hitting this Chiron can also be you feeling that wound of like, my creative offering or my self-expression, does it measure up? Does it, how does it look amongst other people? Things like that. If this is not happening right now, just know that this is kind of scheduled for next year to kind of go through some of those feelings. And like, Uranus really does kind of open that wound. So if you've been trying to figure out what your Chiron wound is, you don't need to. You don't need to. It'll show you. Uranus will show you next year. But it could also be an overcoming of a creative block or a fear of putting yourself out there. Or if you do art or something like that, any kind of artistic or creative work, it could be that sort of breaking you open in that way, if that makes sense. So we'll stop there. There's more. But those are the heavy hitting things that I just picked up on the most for today. So thank you, Rachel. And we're going to go on to our next person, which is going to be Malgorzata. So we got more people. So let me update my list. We have Malgorzata. We have Paula. And then we have, who's after this? We have Andrea. Yes, Andrea. Where was I? Okay, Andrea, Chihiro, and Emily. Okay, so for anyone else who books, you'll have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people ahead of you, and we do have a limit, and you do have to book in the next 8 minutes. It will shut down. The link will stop working, and I just do that so it doesn't get out of control for me during the live. And there will be one next in 2 weeks as well. Okay, so let me make sure I'm not missing anything. Okay. Okay, so we'll go on to Malgorzata. Whoops. not what I meant to do. All right, so we have the chart of Malgorzata up. If you're here, Malgorzata, just say hello. And if not, that's totally fine too. You can watch it after. Let me think about this. I might have to move this because, no, that's fine. Okay, so we are on Malgorzata, and here we go with the transits, the current energies. We have, looks like we've got Sun on Jupiter. That's nice. That's a nice day. So that's like the best day of the year. So you might just have a happy day. Uranus did recently conjunct your moon and is still within range of that conjunction. Neptune is on the south node. Those are the conjunctions. Let's see what else we can see that's happening here that's significant. Oh, that Mars Uranus was close to your moon on Algol, so that makes me wonder if you have siblings. Like, did one of your siblings go nuts last week? Let us know in the chat if you're watching. Let me know in the chat. I always love hearing about stuff like that. Let me see what else is really affecting you. Here we have Pluto will square Mercury, but this is not close enough to be something I would freak out about yet. It's like years away. We have Saturn opposite natal Saturn, so that's been a kind of a big one. We have, what else? Jupiter is trining the sun, which is nice. We'll talk about that and what that means. So let's just start with Uranus hitting that moon, and we'll look back to see when this was the most relevant, and that was around May. End of May, Uranus activated that moon. Now, the moon is in Taurus, so it's strong. And so that means that you can recover. If there was a challenge at this time or a disconnection, you can recover from that. Your moon will help you stabilize. But something destabilizing could have happened either to a sibling or to a female relative around then. Or this could also be something more like the moon rules Cancer, and that's your fifth house of creativity and children. So it could have been a connection or a disconnection to a child or a creative project or someone you were dating, if that applies. So you'll know which one of those is true and just go by whichever one of those things is true. But generally, Uranus hitting the moon is, number one, not a fun transit. It's usually more of a disconnection, emotional disconnection from something that you felt you needed or felt close to or felt connected to. So this could also be a creative thing though too, like pleasure, something you did for pleasure, you could disconnect from because you realize it's not good for you. So like you could have stopped eating sweets or something. Those are kind of like the major themes I see. And also being in the third house, that could have to do with communication and like, disconnecting from like getting rid of a car or something that you loved or something like that. So let's go on to something a little more, meaningful here. We have, let's see, Jupiter. Let's talk about Jupiter for a second because it is trining Pluto and it will trine your sun as it goes through Gemini. And it's in the fourth house. So Jupiter can help you in the fourth house right now to make your home life better. You might just be already doing that since like March. Actually, not March, May. So since May, you could be making your home life better or wanting a better home life or wanting to focus more in on family or your own emotional foundation and like doing things that make you feel hopeful about your own feelings or doing things that just being more optimistic about how you feel and the practices that you do for like self-care on a regular basis. Now, as Jupiter comes into a trine with your sun, for you, the sun actually rules the sixth house of your day-to-day work, and it's in the eighth house of other people. And so this could be something where you have more help doing your chores. You have a partner who's like, you're working together to do the day-to-day things that you normally would do to, to just make your life good and take care of what you got to take care of. Jupiter in the sixth, oftentimes with this natally, people help you with your problems. Okay, so having Jupiter in a trine to the sun, ruling the sixth house, unless you have pets, then it might be about your pets. If you have employees, this could be a time where you're hiring more and you're getting the help that you need and want. And with Jupiter in the sixth, I would say it is good for that. If that is something, if you have employees or if you are a manager over other people at your job, those would be things that I would say are going to be more positive. Those are some opportunities that I see. And Venus is in that sixth house right now, making it sweeter. So this is like a time where you can kind of just enjoy. It's like you're cleaning the bathroom and you got the music on and you're just so happy. You know, it's like you can enjoy cleaning your room. You can enjoy doing the stuff you already have to do. And with the sun and Venus there, this is a time where it's like whistle while you work energy. It's just kind of that time of the year for you where you're gonna be more focused on, you know, cleaning things out or getting rid of things or doing work that needs to be done. And it might make you busy, but it also, there's a feeling of like happiness here. What else do I see for you? I do think Neptune on the south node does do something, has been doing something related to, and even just being in the first house, at the end of the first house, there's some energy around Neptune here of like changing your look or changing your vibe, changing how the way you normally are when you meet people is maybe less, I want to say less rigid, but Saturn's also here. So it's like, you just might be identifying more with past life things when Neptune's on the south node, like people you feel like you've met in past lives or teachers or spiritual stuff, that feels kind of otherworldly could be coming up at this time. And none of that feels bad at all. It's on the south node, so it's not like, I think Neptune transits kind of suck, honestly, when they are hitting planets. And then that Saturn opposition, that maybe is something we could talk about another time of, what was starting in the Saturn cycle 14 years ago and how you're halfway there and what kind of work you maybe took on back in, like, I'll tell you when. Back in, especially, this could even have started March 2023, but especially back on March 2024, Saturn hit that ascendant. That would have been a time to have to make a new commitment or hunker down and accept some kind of responsibility. And it might be a good responsibility that you want. But it's definitely a time where you have to do more stuff you don't want to do, stuff you have to do. So we'll stop there on that lovely positive note. Thank you for booking, and we're going to go on to the next person. And the next person is going to be Paula. I think I can make it open until 12. Let me see if I can do that. Because I know some people still want to book, and it looks like I'll be busy that long. So let me see. So we've done Malgorzata. So Paula, you are up next. I'm going to go in and edit this time to see if I can change it to noon. Yeah, so the link is now going to work until noon. So those of you who want to book, you can. Here's who we have up next. We have Paula, Andrea, Chihiro, and then Emily. And let me see if we got any new ones here. Really quick. I think that's it. Okay, yeah. Okay. So we're going on to, they're not free, Ariane, they are paid. Yeah, so for anyone just jumping on who doesn't know what we're doing, these are paid readings you can book using the link. And I used to do these on the channel like last year, and I have started doing them again. And if you can always book a private reading with me if you want things that are more, personal. Okay, so we are on to Paula. Let me find your chart here. Paula R. I got you up. If you're here, say hi, and if you're not, that's fine too. Okay, so for Paula, we're looking at the transits here. What is happening for you right now? We are on today. And, on these, you guys, I just go with what's the most pressing, what looks the most important. It's not going to tell you everything. It's just going to tell you the things I can do in a quick little reading. Mars is hitting the descendant today. So this is a day where I would say try not to get in fights with people. I mean, I don't know that you're the kind of person who would or anything like that, but that if someone is going to challenge you, when someone in a relationship is going to challenge you or get pissed at you or come at you, like attack, quote unquote, you privately, this is going to be it. Okay, this is like the descendant is other people. Mars is on that descendant. If you're in a relationship, Paula, this could be you and your partner fighting more during the time Mars is in Gemini, but it's not always fighting. Sometimes it's being more active. So if Mars is doing well here, it's like you guys are running a marathon together. You're being athletic together. You're both doing a bunch of stuff. If you don't have a partner, this can be your close friends or a client, someone you work with. This is other people, the most important other people in your life at this moment. So that's what that is. Jupiter's here making it better though. So if you have been fighting with a partner, Jupiter can help you solve those problems. If you have not, Jupiter can still help you make your relationships better, make new friends. And with Mars here, you're going to probably want to do seventh house things, which is, you're going to want to go after more some of the, let me think, like making more friends or connecting with your friends. You might be the one who's pursuing that a little bit more. What else do I see? Jupiter opposite Venus, very nice. And that, that was coming into reality more like in the last month. So kind of putting more focus on Venus in the first, which sometimes is just you wanting to look your best. So it could have sped up your desire and like stimulated your desire to find the right clothes or makeup or whatever it is that you do to want to look a certain way. But because Venus rules your 11th house of friends and other people, it could also have to do with having friends be just like an emphasis on friends. Let us know, Paula. Let me know if you're here, if that is resonating, especially the part about friends, friends becoming important, or, with your 11th ruler in the first, you could sometimes define yourself by who your friends are. Like I am friends with these people. I belong with this group. I teach these people. These are the groups of people I'm with and have a stronger sense of identity from that. Jupiter with Venus here, even though it's past, it's still active. So if you need new friends, if you need a network, if you need to connect with groups of people for any reason, Jupiter can help with that connection with Venus. Even though it's opposite, it's Jupiter and it's Venus. So they're going to work well together to help you, even though there's tension or something like that. Okay, so then let me see what else I see that's like big. Okay, Saturn conjunct the IC. Now, sometimes when Saturn is down here at the bottom of the chart, people feel they're most obscure. They don't feel like they're professionally getting the success they want. They can feel like they're not where they want to be. Your Saturn's going to draw you into your own self, your own emotions. It's not a time. It doesn't mean you're not working or you're not, going toward your goals or something, but Saturn in that fourth house will make you feel like, it can make you feel, if you're not happy with your role or your career, it will make you very painfully aware of that. And this is a time to set intentions for 14 years from now, when Saturn will be at the top of the chart. This does not mean you cannot make progress until then, but that now is the time to kind of build something new in your professional life. So if you want to make a change, or you're not happy, or you're thinking about what you really want to do, that's all right on track for this transit. I recommend journaling. I recommend connecting with yourself. Now, if you're fine professionally, then this might be more like, is my family life or my home life or my sense of belonging where it needs to be? That seems to be the real key for you right now, Paula, is your sense of belonging. So let me see what else here. Yeah, so how you want to work with that is just let it be okay if you don't feel like you totally belong where you are, and know that you have some time to work that out, and that Saturn will bring up the problems in whatever house it's in. Jupiter's going to bring solutions. So, it's like problems with emotional foundation, how you feel, realizing when you don't feel okay, you're more aware of that. Problems in your family, problems with family dynamics, awareness of stuff that's from childhood that's still there, if there is anything. And so that's kind of what I see for that. You also have a Uranus opposition. This is going to be next year, but it's already kind of itching, and itching is the word for Uranus opposite Uranus. We could talk more about that next time if you want, but you need to make sure you let me know, or book a private reading. But Uranus opposition is like midlife crisis energy, right? It's like whatever you feel stuck by, you're going to want to jump right out of it, So like jumping out of those commitments, but it doesn't mean you should always do that. It's not always the right thing to do. It's just what you feel like doing. Uranus makes you painfully aware of ways that your life is not authentic to what you want it to be. So we're going to stop there just because of time. Thank you, Paula. And we're going to go on to the next person. And the next person, let me see. Okay, so we got the first three. Andrea is next. So here's the lineup. Let's see it. We have Andrea. No, hold on. Chihiro. Oh, Chihiro, you didn't do the right thing. Did you? Did you want live? Because you booked a recording instead. Let me know in the comments, Chihiro, and if you want live, I'll do it. Yes, Malgorzata, your reading was second. Chihiro, don't say that because that's not right. I'm gonna delete that comment. The link is not expired. Okay. So we have Chihiro, Emily, and Micah. Andrea, Chihiro, Emily, and Micah. Okay, so Andrea's next. I need to do this for a second because I have to add these ones in. And we're going to do this in 2 weeks again, but if you still want in, there's still time. And the link still works. So that's okay, Chihiro. Okay. So let me see what I'm doing. I'm just going to put you guys in, so this will take a minute. Feel free to chit-chat amongst yourselves. I just like to have it be, I don't like putting them in while the camera's on because that's going to be, show people your birth date and stuff. And that's a little on the creepy side to me. I don't know how you guys feel about that, but that's how I feel. So okay, so Andrea, you're already in. So let me put Chihiro, you need to book the right thing because this was wrong, and I need you to use the correct link, and I'm gonna refund you because the one you booked doesn't have your date of birth and stuff. I'm gonna refund you right now. Try not to do that again though, please. It's just gonna take me a second. Okay, so Chihiro, you can still get in because I opened it up till noon and the link should work. But it's gonna put you in a different order. So then, let me see. I'm just putting the charts in for the next batch of people. Andrea, you will be next. And then Emily. Okay, so that's Emily, and then Micah will be after that. Okay, so Micah, you are also in. Okay, so here's an update for anyone who is just joining us. We have a few people booked, and you will all be next. So we have Andrea, Emily, and Micah. We have about 12 minutes that you can still join. So if you want to get your reading in today, you still can. So we're going to go on to Andrea. And did I get the right Andrea? Let's see. And then, okay, Chihiro, I got you. You will be in. And you got the right thing. Thank you. Okay. Okay, so we're back to Andrea W. And here we are. Here we are. Oops, that's not what I wanted to do. I want to do this. Okay, Andrea. Here's your chart, and here are the transits, and here we go. So for Andrea, Jupiter on the midheaven right now, opportunities for career growth, professional advancement, or just simply more work, or the ability to have your work be more public. You are a Virgo rising, which means Jupiter is going to rule your 4th house of home and your 7th house of relationships. But we have Jupiter and Saturn squaring, and Saturn is right on your descendant. Okay, so when Saturn goes through that 7th house, Andrea, you can have it, Saturn can bring up challenges to relationships. You can be more isolated. You can find that you have to set boundaries with people more. So for you, this has been happening since March of 2023, that need to say no to people, the need to set boundaries, the need to the need to isolate yourself or be strict or have some kind of rules or structure related to the people around you. Now, this could be something that is, sometimes it's a responsibility you step up to with a partner. So if you're in a relationship, it might be committing to things together, like buying a house or having a kid or something during this time, or just getting more serious about the relationship. Now we have this business together. Now we do this. Now we have this responsibility. So it can be either one of those things. But the topics of like challenge, difficulty and relationship are going to be connected here. So that's that. Now Jupiter will help. Jupiter's going to help solve problems. If you have your own business, it might be with getting one-on-one clients. If not, it could be solving problems in relationship through something more public, like a partnership or doing a side job, So if you're looking for work, okay, Andrea's saying, yep, just ended a relationship and enjoying the peace of his absence. Okay, so this is exactly what happens when Saturn is in the 7th house, and in particular on the descendant. It's like you either set a boundary with someone or you realize they are not, this is like straight out of Robert Hand's book on Saturn in the 7th. You realize they're more trouble than they're worth and you get rid of them, right? So you realize if there has already been a problem, Saturn brings the awareness to that problem. Okay, so let's talk about how Jupiter's helping you. Jupiter moon, now I know you said you just ended a relationship. Jupiter hitting your moon is one of the pregnancy transits. I'm not saying you are, I'm not predicting that, but when you want to get pregnant or you don't want to get pregnant, this is one to know about because it is a very strong, Jupiter moon is a very strong pregnancy indicator. But Jupiter's going to expand other stuff related to your moon, which is if you have an audience, it'll grow your audience. If you have social media, it'll help you grow your social media. If you have friends, it'll help you make more friends. If you want to make friends, this is a good time to do it. Jupiter makes that area of life better. It makes you more optimistic about it. If you need to do anything in groups, network, join an astrology group, anything like that deals with other people at all, whether they're friends or not, Jupiter will help make that bigger, make it better, make it something that the efforts you put into networking right now, you'll get more results. And with Mars here on the 10th, you might be really motivated to, increase your output at your job or do more in your work, or you might just have a busier time at work and you're more visible doing it. So This transit is good for that. It's good for being visible if that's something you want to do. And if it's not something you want to do and you're like, no, let me be behind the scenes, then you still might have to be a little more public at this time in order to reach your goals. And being in Gemini, you can be doing more multitasking in your work. Let's see what else is really significant here. South Node hitting Saturn. Yeah, okay. You might feel less disciplined financially at this very moment as the South Node is hitting Saturn. And, Saturn in the second is the part of you that's like, we might not have enough money, we better save. But you also have Venus and Jupiter here. So there's parts of you that are also like, actually, let's just trust we're going to have enough. You have like this mix of both of these energies. So you may find that it's like, sometimes you're like, no, we're not spending. And other times you're like, all we're going to do is spend. And we're fine, and we're going to trust that we're okay and that we have enough. So you could find with the South Node hitting just Saturn, though, it's almost like what's left is Venus and Jupiter. Just you might go on a spending spree because that part of you that's normally there saying, no, we're not going to do this is like the South Node kind of makes it disappear. So if you can do that and you're fine, great. If you can't, watch out for that. Watch out for the lack of financial discipline. Now, this could also be you getting rid of certain things, especially like big stuff like furniture. And it's like, okay, that couch is gone now. It could be something like that, something a little bit more minor. I will say though, with Venus in the 12th, money-wise, there is a possibility. Okay, I'm not predicting this, but there's a possibility of not just losing money, but like if you want to buy something really big, if this were me, and I have Virgo rising too, I would wait until Venus gets out of that 12th house to make a really big purchase, like new furniture or like something really big to you, or even getting like a new phone or something. I would wait until the 5th of August to do that. And the reason is sometimes you do lose money in the 12th, and it might not be a lot of money. Sometimes you just buy something and it's a loss. So just know that. And I think we'll stop there just because of time, but there's more we could talk about in the next one as always. But hopefully that helps you identify some of the major blessings and possibilities Jupiter's opening up, and then some of the ones that Saturn is, maybe not blessing, but what Saturn's doing as well. One more little thing is on August 5th, when Venus gets in that first house, that's a really nice time to get your picture taken or do things that have to do with your public image, because that's like the time that Venus, like you look your best out of the year. So that being said, we're going to go on to our next person. And our next person is going to be, let's see who I've got next. That was Andrea. So I think, let's see. I made a list here. Where'd I put it? Emily. Emily will be next, and then Micah. Micah, yes, thank you. I pronounced your name right. Are you a girl Micah? Because I've known guy Micahs. I remember that name from like when I was in elementary school. Carolyn's here. Hey, Carolyn. Okay, so Andrea, we saw that one. Emily, my relationships and career have been challenged for quite some time. I believe I just came out of a Saturn cycle in December. Let's find out. So let me get your chart up. For anyone who wants to book today, you have 3 minutes, and then the link will no longer work. So it's last call to book using the link. And let's see, let me find you, Emily. Wait. Okay. Oops, that was showing. I didn't mean to. Okay. Emily, we got you. We got your chart up. And I didn't realize I sent both messages. Oh, that's okay, Emily. Intern is joking a little, but hello. Joining a little late, but hello. Emily, also Virgo rising. Cool. Virgo rising's in the house. Girl, Micah. Okay, I'll remember that. I just didn't think that Majestic Girl Games was a guy. Okay. Okay, so we have Emily. And again, this is the last call for anyone else. If you want to get in today, you have to book right now or the link will expire. Okay. Transits. All right. So we're looking at now, what is happening now. Mercury is right on the ascendant for you today. So that's like a day where you might have more conversations or you might be receiving more information, right? Because Virgo risings tend to be more receptive. It's that feminine energy, especially with Saturn here. So it's like you might just be learning something, listening to something, or hearing something that is about you and making your life better, or like, that Virgo need to self-improve. Everything we said about Venus and spending, as far as the potential to lose money before the 5th and the potential to look your best after the 5th when Venus enters the first house, is also true about you and every other Virgo rising out there. And let's see what else we see that's major. We have Mars. You just had a Mars return. That happens about every couple of years. So let's look to what day that was for you to give you some insight. That was on around the 22nd. So the 22nd is a new beginning related to Mars stuff. So that's what you're fighting for. It's your will, your ability to say no, when you need to fight in life. And Mars rules your 8th house. So it has to do with possibly debt or connecting to other people or how you change. And also it's in your 10th house, so your career. So it's a new cycle, mostly relating to the 8th house stuff and the 3rd house stuff, which is like siblings, your car, how you get from place to place, your local neighborhood, and or that 8th house stuff of debt or taxes or inheritance or shared resources. So you can consider what was starting around the 22nd. And if that's not clear, maybe take in a couple weeks, look back on that and see, or even a couple months and see what maybe was shaping up. Because sometimes we don't see the thing that's starting until in retrospect. What else do I see that's like big for you? We have Saturn opposite Saturn. Saturn kind of close to the south node, but not that close. We have the moon on Chiron. That's really temporary. So, that's like a couple hours ago. Maybe something made you feel lost or like, trying to find your path. But it's going to pass. Uranus is about to hit your midheaven. That'll happen next year. That's a big deal transit. Okay, so we're going to start with that because it's the biggest deal. It's not the most pressing, but it's like you need to know about this. And I'm going to tell you when the date is. This is like a career change. And that's going to be close to June of next year. So if you are unhappy in your work, it's almost to do next, but it will make you very clear when you're in a situation that's not aligned. So if you don't like your job or you've been wanting a change, there's probably a change coming next year. I don't know if it'll be good or bad. I can never tell that. But it will be. That's what I know. Jupiter in the 10th, though, is going to help you make your career better right now or make you feel like it's growing right now. It might just give you more work to do. If you have if you have a job where you do a bunch of different things, you might be wearing 2 hats during the time Jupiter's there, especially while Mars is here. But you might also feel like I really need to get my career into gear, and it might be you taking on something more to deal with that. Now we have Jupiter hitting Venus. This is looking nice. This is next month, and it's looking like it's around August, end of August. This feels like something very good, maybe a bonus or something money-wise, or either money, or because it's your money planet, Jupiter hitting your money planet. That's only going to happen once every 12 years. And I'm going to tell you when it happened last time so you can look back and think about what was happening then and kind of understand how that energy is relates to you now. You know, it might be different, especially when you're a little kid. But sometimes if you're a little kid, it's like what happens to your parents. But let's see when this was. Around 2012. So think about, oh, maybe it might be later because it retrograded. Hold on. Maybe 2013. Okay, so this looks like around May of 2013. Think about what was happening for you May, June of 2013, and like how that was relating to especially financial growth, right? Or growth on your spiritual path, because Venus rules your second and your ninth house. So like, did you travel? Did you get some money and like go on a trip? Did you do something related to the law or belief systems or church or astrology or something? Did you start teaching? Think about what was happening then and think about how that same thing could possibly be showing up in your life now or soon next month, but apply it to whatever is happening now. And you might be in a different phase of life, you know? I think that Uranus midheaven is the biggest thing I see here. And Saturn is squaring Venus. So Saturn is, and we can even look back to see when that was exact. It's almost like sometimes you make less money during that time. So this was just last week, so you'll know whether you got less money or not, or the thing Venus rules becomes hard, and for you that's your finances or your ability to travel. So if you wanted to make a trip, now you have to adjust to it, make adjustments to it you didn't expect, or things you didn't see coming. You can't get the ticket yet. Or, you know, money is delayed a bit. Like you thought you were going to get this and you didn't, or something unexpected happened, or you just have to work harder for the same amount of money. It doesn't have to be the end of the world. Some of this depends on what area of life you're in, you know, what time of life it is for you. So the more stability you already have, the less that's going to be life-changing. But it does feel like slowing down of money matters until next month when Jupiter hits it. But it's like when Jupiter hits it, you might get money that you can't access yet or something. You know, it's like you might get a retirement that it's like, yeah, you got money, but you got to pay into it for longer or something like that. So there could be a combination of more, but also more work to go with it, more overtime to go with it, or something else. Okay. Perfect. Emily's saying spot on. Perfect. Okay, so we're going to go on down to our next person. Who is our next person? Let me see. We had Micah and then Chihiro. So Micah, I think I have your chart. Let me see. Let me put it up really quick. Thank you, Emily. And thank you to everyone who has joined. Oh man, I didn't spell it right. I swear I put this in here. Hold on. I gotta figure out what I did. I'm just gonna go to the M's. I know I entered it. I probably put the H somewhere it doesn't go. It's not in here. What did I do? Darn it. I'm mad at myself for that. Okay, Micah, I'm just going to enter it again. Oh, it's because it's MY. That's why. Jeez. There it is. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Micah. And here we are with your chart. So just to recap of who's next, we have Micah and then we have Chihiro. And for anyone who wants to make sure they get in next week, there's going to be there's actually I think I already made the thing. I think I should do that now. So I'm going to do that now. I'm going to share the link for that now. To sign up for class on August 11th. That link is now up, and whoever signs up first goes first, and we go in order. So I'm going to pin this to the chat because the readings are closed now. So that's going to be at the top. So you can sign up for class on August 11th, and it shouldn't say class, but that's what I wrote. You can sign up for your reading on August 11th, just like this. And Micah is going to be next, and then we'll go to Chihiro. Okay, Micah, we have your chart up here, and we have the transits up, and what do I see here? I see Pluto and Neptune. North Node hitting Venus. Saturn about to hit Jupiter. Saturn in the same sign as Jupiter. That's kind of a big one. Uranus Sun is probably the biggest thing I see in all of this. You also have Jupiter in your sixth. So what we said about Jupiter in the sixth of like making your problems, so helping you solve your problems, and Mars might motivate you to do so. So it's like, that's like wanting to clean out your closets and get rid of them and pay your bills and get your debt in order. Just everything you would consider a problem you want to solve in life, whatever that happens to be. Jupiter is like motivating you to solve them, and then Mars will really make you antsy if you don't, and get like, so if you want to use that Mars has its joy in the sixth house because Mars loves when shit goes wrong and it loves conflict, right? So deal with that, use that energy to just get stuff done, handle things, get your problems sorted out in whatever way makes sense for you. Let's see what the date was of this Uranus conjunct the Sun. That was on May 28th. Uranus hit your Sun in the 5th. So this could have been a sudden change to something related to your creativity or related to your other people's money, your debt, your taxes, stuff like that, or shared resources. If you have a partner, Micah, who you share money with, like you live with someone or something, or you're married, this would be a change to maybe the partner's income. If you are not, oh yeah, here you are saying, I've been very debt focused, currently updating my debt tracker. Yeah, it feels like maybe something happened on the 28th that really kind of spurred that or made you feel like I got to get moving on this, right? Because this Mars Sun is kind of nice because like Mars Sun conjunction makes you very, I get things done. I'm a person who handles stuff. You don't sit around. Even though sometimes Taurus gets a bad rap for that, Mars really changes the energy of your Sun in Taurus to be a lot more Aries-like. It's still a Sun in Taurus, but it's like, you don't want to just sit there. You won't have the patience of a Taurus. You'll have this desire for stability and enjoying life and, creating the foundations in life you want to have, but you won't have the patience. And that's fine because you'll get stuff done. You'll just deal with things more immediately. So yeah, something happening related to that, and maybe also related to a need to express yourself all of a sudden back at that time. Either way, we can say now that Uranus is passing that Sun, that you're probably more aware of what your a more authentic form of self-expression is. You may not always be able to do it, if you're in a job where you feel really repressed, you're going to notice it when Uranus hits your Sun, because it's like, I just want to be myself. And for you, it might be, I just want to pay my debt so I can be myself, but it might also be, I just want to be able to be who I am. I want to make the art I want to make or cook the food I want to cook or whatever it is. or read or write the books I want to read or write, or whatever you do. So that's that Uranus Sun. And let's see. And the North Node was on Venus recently, and I think we should look at that too. That was back on around the early July, late June. North Node hitting Venus in the fourth, increasing your desire to have a beautiful home or to, enjoy. It's weird, Venus in Aries in the fourth, because Venus in Aries is like a motorcycle ride, right? It's like you enjoy the thrill of the chase and you want things that are kind of exciting and a little bit of a daredevil energy, although it doesn't make you a daredevil. It just makes you kind of enjoy more adventurous things. And then in the fourth house, though, it's like, but at home. So I don't know how that shows up for you. But like in private, you're going to enjoy adventurous things that no one knows you enjoy. And the North Node can like increase that. So increase that desire for a thrill. But also this increase the desire to like be at home and enjoy your surroundings. So back to now. Let's see what's happening now. Let me think about what. Okay, let's just see if there's any last things that are jumping out. Saturn has been in the same sign as your Jupiter, and when that happens, sometimes you can be a little more pessimistic because, Jupiter is the part of us that's like, okay, let's look on the bright side. So when Saturn's there, your ability to look on the bright side is not as happening. It's not quite as strong. And it could just mean you're less inspired and you're more focused on everyday regular stuff. And as Saturn gets closer to Jupiter, that might increase. So it doesn't mean you have to be a Debbie Downer, but just that, and I'm going to tell you when this will be next year. I think when Saturn hits that Jupiter, this will be... Yeah, oh wait, I just passed it. Around this time, around the 28th, around February. Late February, early March of 2025 is when that's going to be the strongest. So just know that if you feel a little more down than normal, especially during that time, that it's really normal to have that experience and to have that it's just really normal to feel a little bit less inspired, right, with Jupiter and Pisces. And what else do I see that's like significant? I'm noticing you have a lot of planets here right now, like here in this quadrant, which technically the third house is a different quadrant. But, this is like your internal life and the problems you have. So I just feel like you're in problem solving mode right now. And you're not in like, let me be visible mode. You're not in, let me work on what I'm accomplishing in my professional life. It's like getting my home in order, getting my, my voice and using it and using it how I want to. It just feels like you're in that kind of stage. Mars will come above the horizon here in maybe, I don't know, a couple months or so. So maybe not quite that long, but that's going to kind of shift your focus a little bit to others again. So if you're feeling really self-focused lately, it does feel like the chart does kind of match that energy. Okay, we're going to go on now to the next person. Thank you, Micah. And our next person is Chihiro. Did I say it right? I think I said it wrong. Okay, she's saying, very true. Haven't had the money to do fun stuff and I want to enjoy my summer. Moved into a new home, got to decorate and enjoying organizing. Okay, cool. Thank you for sharing. This is spot on. I had to downsize from my apartment, so I've just been getting my new home and finances together. All right. So let's go to our next person. Yeah, I did say it wrong. It's Chihiro. Chihiro is like I feel like that's like a Reiki thing. I'm getting myself confused. Okay, so I have to put you in here, I think. I'm going to find out. It's okay. Chihiro, apologies. I am putting your name here though, so if I see it again, if you book again, I'll see it. All right. And okay. All right, let's see. So for anyone else jumping on, these are not free readings. Chihiro's about to pass out. Are you excited? Okay, so we're doing Chihiro's chart, and for anyone who wants to book with me and do this, today's readings are closed, but we do have one in 2 weeks that is now open. You can book it now, and they will go first come, first serve. So whatever order that they are booked in is what order I read. So here we go with Chihiro and looking at the transits starting from right now. Let me see what we have here. The Uranus, no, that's actually a ways away. Nice 5th house stellium there. We got, well, Saturn in the same sign as Mercury, Venus, a couple of personal planets. Pluto on the south node. We have Jupiter in the 6th. Again, we've talked about this, so I'm not going to talk about that again. But everything I said about Jupiter and the 6th and solving problems still applies. And let's see what else. You don't have anything that's like hitting you like crazy right now, which is kind of nice. But Jupiter will trine Uranus in the 2nd house. So let's see when that's going to happen. This can be something where you do have like a sudden income. Sometimes it can be an income or an outgo. Sometimes people with Uranus in the 2nd, they do freelance work or some other type of work that they're like self-employed, something where their money isn't like, it doesn't come in regularly, right? It's like sporadic, or it's like not unstable necessarily, but I can't think of the word. You know, when you get a little bit here and a little bit there, and then maybe you get a big client, right? And you sign a package, or you do, again, like freelance work where it's like, yeah, I'm starting the process of becoming a freelance tutor right now. Okay, perfect. You're right on schedule. I see something happening in August, the end of August. So if this is when you plan on like making packages available or something, maybe this is when you get your first package, or maybe you get a bunch of them, because it does feel like a pretty major positive transit, like a big bunch of money. So I would say shoot for the stars. You know, I would say really do make your packages big, if that makes sense. Because that's the thing is, if you do something freelance with Uranus in the 2nd and the packages are smaller, you have to work a lot harder, right? So since you already have that energy of being able to get a bunch of money right at one time, you know, maybe plan for that or use that to your advantage. And let's see what else I'm thinking of for you here as far as what's going on. Yeah, Saturn in the 3rd, sometimes you're studying or you're learning or you're doing courses, you're teaching or you're learning classes. It tends to make you a bit busier, and Mars in the 6th will also make you busy. So I see you just working on stuff and being busy and getting stuff together, especially if the freelance tutor thing is like a side hustle on top of your main hustle. I would also keep an eye on the date of like the 11th, 12th of August for like the potential for growth of more work, growth of side work is really like a keyword there. And then, I see you staying busy until at least the first week of September. It doesn't mean you're done then, but just that sort of push, that surge of energy, maybe being during that time. All right. What else do I see here? As far as like the more significant things. Yeah, okay, so Saturn in the same sign as Venus and Mercury. That's going to be maybe disciplining how you write, disciplining how you speak. Venus, Mercury, and Pisces especially. Venus is there with Neptune. Very, very, very nice. I just noticed this conjunction. Mercury, Venus is like a nice soothing voice, a nice singing voice, alluring, just very kind of... I don't know, like poetry and magnetic and like telling stories and just kind of being easy to listen to and stuff like that. And Neptune on that Venus can make it more alluring, right? Make your voice more beautiful. Sometimes I think of like movie stars with this kind of energy because it's like the illusion that you see on a screen. So if your freelance packages have anything to do with doing it through YouTube or doing it through some kind of medium where it's like an advertisement or something, it could be good for that. Although this could be something else going on, right? And so Venus for you is going to be the ruler of your 10th house. And it's also the ruler of your 5th house of creativity, which you've got a bunch of energy there. So Neptune can make those areas more soft and fluid. So if your job has become more soft and fluid, that might mean that it's the energy of the workplace. It could be that the job dissolves, right? Like if your job just ended or like stopped or the client stopped coming or something like that, then that would be what it is. Neptune can dissolve the thing of that area. It doesn't mean you're stuck with that forever, but it's like it just goes poof and it's gone. Other things that can happen with Neptune transiting a planet is you'd have more compassion toward that thing. So you may have to use compassion more in your work. Your work might be more confusing, or it might be more like, confusing isn't the right word, but just like you're not sure what to do is kind of the feeling. You don't know if you're making the right choices when Neptune hits your 10th house planet. Now this transit has been kind of off and on for a while, but right now it's really like on it. It's on that point. So I'm going to show you the trajectory of what's happening here. It will distance itself coming up this year and into next year. And then it's going to come back again in March. And then Neptune will move into Aries. And let's see, I can't remember if it retrogrades back again. I think it might. Yeah, and it will retrograde back again next October. So what that means is you're going to have points where it's like when it comes to your career, it's going to be like, I forgot to set the timer. It's going to be like feeling that energy, like you're in a boat at sea and you can't tell if you're going the right direction. But the good news for you, Chihiro, is, I'm going to keep doing that, is that it's going to you're going to get some relief. And so I would say that once Neptune gets into Aries, this will be a time where at least for a minute you can be like, how did I do? And that's all you can do is just do your best right now in the fog until it gets to about April of next year. You can go, and you can kind of assess how you're doing. Saturn will be there. You'll be able to see more of the physical, like tangible, how did I do? Did I make the right choices? And then you'll go back into that state of like more driving in the fog kind of energy again. Not until October. So you'll get a nice break from that energy. So you'll know what it feels like and you'll kind of know what you can do coming up to deal with that, if that makes sense. Now it can also be, again, your creativity. Self-employment is ruled by the 5th house. So that whole freelance work makes sense because you're in this transitionary period. And sometimes Neptune will make that thing be it's like you're a different role, but it just hasn't quite come into form yet. So you can use the Neptune to know that thing is changing, if that makes sense. Like if you're making a change, that's the exact time where you would have the indecision and where you would have the I just saw your comment. Oh, that is so funny. That just cracks me up. Okay. Anyway, so Neptune hitting that thing, while it can be kind of destabilizing for us, because we really usually like as humans to be able to say like, this is what I do. This is my job. It's solid, right? We definitely don't enjoy those times where we're like, it might work, it might not, I'm just trying it. We're going to see and find out. But the fact that it's like your identity when it comes to career is growing and changing and becoming something new, seems very aligned with the timing. So we'll stop there because I think that was a little bit longer. And thank you for going back and booking through the right thing. And for anyone else watching, if you want to get a reading, here is what you can do. You can click the link. There is a link now in the top of the chat. It's a different link. So even if you already signed up for today, that different link is going to give you a chance to book for 2 weeks from now, Sunday, the 11th of August. So Sunday, August 11th is our next day where we're going to be doing live readings just like this. And again, the way it works is it's first come, first serve. So whoever books that first gets to go first. So there are 20 spots, and that once they're taken, I won't add any more. So if you want to be one of the first ones next time, you can use that link to book, and we will be doing a transit report, which means I'm just looking at the current energies based on the transits and what you're dealing with. And I'm going by what I think is most important and most significant to least significant. So if you book again, it'll be the next layer of what is significant. Now, if you're going to book with me more than once on these, it helps me a lot if you can tell me what we covered the last time, because I do such a high volume of them all at once that I don't always memorize what I told you last time. So if you remember what planets I talked about last time, that helps me to make sure I don't say it again. Although I can, I can always just start from wherever it is, but sometimes it's nice. So that is what I have for this video. Thank you all to everyone who is newer to the channel. Thank you all for joining and subscribing. And for those who have been with me for a while, thank you for continuing to support the channel by booking readings, getting my courses, by showing up to these lives and watching the videos that I do. You guys have helped this channel grow so much. I remember doing these lives when I had like 2,000 people or 4,000 people, and now you guys have made me like a real YouTube channel. At least that's how I feel. Once I hit 10,000 subscribers, to me, it just kind of felt like this is really working and it's really, a real thing. So, but then again, I have my own Neptune transit going on, doing all of that. So like I said, you can either book again in 2 weeks from now, or you can book a private reading as well. So I do one-on-ones and I do Zoom calls, and we can cover a lot more things that we don't cover in a quick little check-in, right? So we can look at your year. We can look at where your progressed moon is, your solar return chart based on your last birthday. Starting there and going into the next year, we can look at more upcoming transits, and we can talk more in depth about how to deal with the energies and how to work with them. So if you have a difficult transit, I can help you figure out how to work with it. And that can even include remedies in some cases. Okay, so that's what we have. And I also have courses out. So I have two new courses. And the one that is more popular right now is the 9th house. So the ninth house actually tells you a lot about your spiritual path, but most people don't know that. Most people are looking at their Pluto and their Chiron and their nodes, and those are all fine. There's lots of information about that. But what there isn't as much information about is the ninth house. So that's why I did a course on it. It teaches you how to figure out, what's in your ninth house, what planet represents your ninth house, and it tells you what it means. And then it actually teaches you how to read your ninth house from your sun, moon, and rising. So you get 3 times the information. So there is a link in the description for, I don't know what I put in there. Actually, there's some links. Yeah, you can book a personal reading and you can go to my courses. So when you go to the course page, that's where you'll see that course as well as many others. So feel free to check that out as well. And I will see all of you beautiful souls in the next video. Bye, guys.